I just wonder what Daniel Jacob Radcliffe is going to miss most about Harry James Potter.
I think about the actual experience of filming the movies. I think I'll miss the crew a huge amount. I'm doing The Woman in Black at the moment, and I'm already working with people who've worked on Potter again in a different context. But to be together as that unit for so long was very, very special, and I'll miss that. But also, it's very it's something. I think the one thing I'd say I took for granted over the 10 years was the fact that I was actually playing an action hero as well. And you get to do stuff when you play an action hero that you just don't get to do in any other line of performance or anything. I got to, at one point, slide down 40-foot free fall down a roof on the 4th film in the dragon sequence. I got to burst out of the water surrounded by a ring of fire on number 6. I got to do some really cool stuff. And I probably won't get to do stuff like that much anymore.
If you move to Glasgow, you could probably do that most weekends. So that'd be fine.
Right? Yes. I would be foolish to agree with you.
that notion too that school's out now forever, and you're going to become somewhat a muggle once more. And I don't know whether, like the Beatles, when they wrapped it up with the Abbey Road, they sort of said, "Boy, you're going to carry that weight a long time," knowing that they'll be a Beatle for the rest of their life. I guess the part of you knows that you've done other work, you'll do other work, your life will move on. But for some people, to be always that sort of, hey, you're the guy who.
I know that. I think I'd be very stupid to think that I would wake up the day after rap and suddenly everyone would totally forget that I played this character for 10 years. There will be some people who will always see me as this character, and I absolutely know that and understand that, and that's fine. As long as those people are not casting directors and filmmakers, then hopefully that won't hold me back too much. That's kind of my attitude towards it.
I was thinking your growing pains, normally people capture their growing pains on camera phones and home movies, and you've captured it over a multi-billion-dollar franchise movie that's made 4.7 gazillion, I think, at this point.
Yes.
I don't know whether there's a part of you that sort of mourns not having had an ordinary sort of adolescence, or maybe you and Emma and Rupert are too busy having money fights to worry about such things.
Yeah, I don't wish. I like the idea. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it was a worry that we particularly, lost our adolescence or anything like that. I think, of course, we didn't have what people would consider a normal adolescence, in that we were on film set for most of that time. But, in my head, it was a much improved one, because there's a lot less bullying and cruelty on a film set than there is at school. So I got to miss out, in my mind, in all the crap parts of being a teenager, which is, generally speaking, hanging around with other teenagers en masse, which is something I didn't particularly enjoy in my brief periods when I did go back to school. And I actually got to hang around with some really kind of cool people, as well as all the other people my age on set. I got to hang around with people who were much older and could just turn around to me and say, yeah, you know what, the problems you're going through in your teenage life that you at this point think are the biggest thing in the world and you will never forget and you will remember forever, you're going to have forgotten about them in 3 weeks' time. They will no longer be a concern of yours. So I think having people around me who've been through puberty and all that rubbish and were sort of quite balanced about the whole thing was actually a real help.
I don't know if I've got time for one more. Was that a one? Yeah, very tiny. George Lucas, he proved very, very painfully that sometimes a franchise is best left alone, when he made those horrible prequels to the original Star Wars trilogy. J.K. Rowling has said on Oprah she's tempted to return to Potter in some way. You joked that maybe in 30 years' time there'll be a remake and you play the teachers.
I can say, I hope she certainly won't mind me mentioning this. I got a text from Jo Rowling yesterday saying that something along the lines of, I was so pleased with your performance in this film. As a reward, I promised never to write another book about Harry. So, I'm going to leave it to her. I don't think she will. I'm sure she'll write other books, and they will be fantastic. I doubt very much there'll be a Harry. I think she feels, as I do, that we have, spent a long enough time with these characters, and that, newer pastures are waiting for us all.
Rock and roll. Lovely to talk to you again.
Thank
sir.
you very much, Lawrence.